And understrength West Coast host the Suns in Perth to end round 1. Earlier, the Crows lose a thriller to the Dockers at Adelaide Oval thanks to a last-minute punch off the goal line, in a game highlighted by heroics from Adelaide debutant Josh Rachele. And the Hawks beat North in Sam Mitchell's first game in charge. Follow the live scores, stats and results below. West Coast versus Gold Coast. Team stats. Player stats. Dockers hang on in a thriller over the Crows. Fremantle looked headed for defeat before a final quarter comeback saw the Dockers go home with the points against the Crows. The Fremantle Dockers have launched a late final quarter comeback and then sealed victory over Adelaide by the narrowest of margins with a punch of the ball off the line in the final seconds. The Dockers dominated the early stages of the game and led by 17 points at quarter time and 25 points at the half. However, a 6-goal-to-none third quarter had the Adelaide Oval crowd on their feet, with the resurgence largely driven by debutant Josh Rachele. The first gamer had 14 possessions, took 5 marks and kicked 5 goals for the match. His final goal put the Crows well clear in the final term, but 2 majors in time on from Sam Switkowski and Lorchie Schultz set up the dramatic finale. Loading. Adelaide had one last attack to set up one last stoppage. The ball funneled out to Crows midfielder Ben Kays, who snapped towards goal. It looked to be heading over the line, but the Dockers defender Heath Chapman was literally the last line of defence, getting his fist to the ball to punch it away from the goal line. The ball fell to Fremantle players, who kept their cool and handballed clear to run out the clock. Hawks start Mitchell's reign with win over Roos. Hawthorn's post-Alistair Clarkson era is off to a winning start, with the Hawks surging past North Melbourne by 20 points in an error-riddled AFL contest at the MCG. In a battle between teams expected to struggle in 2022, the Hawks reeled in a 22-point deficit on Sunday to give new boss Sam Mitchell an ideal start to his head coaching career. Chad Wingard kicked 2 goals in the last quarter as the Hawks surged clear. Despite being outclassed in the midfield, Hawthorn were able to gain a serious advantage up forward in the round 1 match. Hawks forward Mitch Lewis had arguably the best outing of his 37-game career, booting 3 vital goals as the Hawks prevailed 11.12 to 8.10. Lewis brought down some big contested marks and converted his set shots to give Hawthorn faithful hope he can be the power forward the club has been crying out for since their golden era in the 2010s. North were already undersized down back after the departure of Robbie Tarrant during the off-season, but things became dire when key defender Ben McKee was subbed out of the game with concussion in the first term. Kangaroos captain Jack Zebel was caught out having to play on Lewis and fellow key Hawks forward Jack Gunston, who made an encouraging return after his 2021 season was ruined by back issues. The Hawks also had to use their medical sub, bringing on wingman Tom Phillips for Max Lynch after the ruckman suffered a head knock in the second quarter. North's hyped number 1 draft pick Jason Horne-Francis showed promise on debut, highlighted by kicking an exciting goal during the second term when all Kangaroos players ran to congratulate him. Chad Wingard, who was allowed to wear long sleeves for the first time in his 4 years at Hawthorn, made up for a quiet first 3 quarters to step up in the final term with 2 crucial goals. Hawthorn will hit the road next weekend to face a wounded Port Adelaide, while the Kangaroos will host West Coast in round 2. Ladder.